like to explain to you how I hold the brushes, okay? Now, there's all types of different brushes out there. It's very personal what you like to use. I just recently started using the Vic Firth Steve Gadd model, which feels great. It's a really, really nice feeling brush. I've worked with other brushes that either feel like they're too wide or too heavy, too much weight at the back, too much weight at the front. These are weighted really nicely, actually. You should definitely try out these Steve Gadd brushes. They're amazing. And it's a lot different than a drumstick because the weight can be distributed differently than a drumstick, like I just mentioned. So you can still try to find that balance point, if you can, where it's going to give you as much rebound as the brush is willing to give. It won't be a lot, but it should be something. Now, if I'm holding the brush way too far back, you see how it really just kind of dies in the center of the pad there. Holding it too forward, you got nothing. So there actually is, you know, a nice convincing balance point on a brush. Mine's right around the word Steve in Steve Gadd. So I just hold, in my right hand, I hold the brush just like I do a drumstick. You'll notice that you're not going to get any excess brush coming out of the back of your hand. You might get the little wire coil at the end there coming out of the end. And that's okay, because it still feels good. I can feel something at the end of my brush, you know, resting in the pad of the hand. That feels pretty good, okay? So for you match grip players, is match both of your hands up, you know, so it looks quite even type of thing. And they even put this little ball end on there so you can kind of like, you know, rest your pinky on that area. Depending on the size of your hand, everybody's different, so be sure to experiment. Now see if you can actually play a single stroke roll evenly with your wrist. See how that feels. It should feel pretty good at this point, okay? Now, I learned how to play brushes with traditional grips, so let me share the same concept with my left hand as I did with my right. Is you find the balance point of the stick, brush, okay? So you want to find the balance point of the brush with the left hand, which will be the same spot as it was with the right hand, right around the Steve. Hold this brush just like you would the drumstick. Play from the wrist. So the main thing is you've got to have a very relaxed feel in your hands, especially if you're going to be working on some brush technique, which we'll demonstrate in the upcoming chapters of brushes. But the main thing is it's got to feel really, really smooth. You know, you don't want to be too tense or too tight. It's got to be a very, very relaxed feel in your hands. So what I would suggest doing is even practice playing in the air. See how that feels in the air, you know, because it takes a little while to get used to. It's a very different feel than a drumstick. So be patient, maybe practice some doubles and some singles just in the air without even hitting the drum. Try that, and then eventually we'll take this to the drum set and have fun.